When you're using a lot of vegetables, sometimes you have quite a lot left over after a couple of days. And one of the great ways of using these up, little offcuts, you might have a pepper here, it doesn't really matter. And with this recipe, absolutely no rules what you use in the veg. Again, look at it more as a technique. I'm going to make a very, very simple minestrone style broth. I'm going to be using beans in here, and this is the kind of filler upper kind of meal snack that you can have throughout the day if you're just hungry. And the great thing is as well is it's when you have liquid mixed with chunks of food like this, it doesn't go through your system so fast. So it's very, very good for filling you up as well. So what we're going to use in this one is I've diced up a medium onion. I've used a small medium-sized courgette, which again I've just diced. A red pepper, again diced up. I have about 3 tomatoes, again just diced, roughly chopped. You don't have to be too fussy with your chopping. I have about 150 grams of celery, again chopped up. I left the leaves on it. I have no problem with the leaves. I don't like to over trim things anyway. I have about 200 grams of butternut squash, again chopped into a dice. I have a 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes. Again, I have a 400 gram tin of mixed beans, which I just drained off the liquid that's in the bean as well. I have about 100 grams of spinach. I've chopped up 3 cloves of garlic. Again, you can adjust this accordingly how you might like it. I have about 50 grams of basil. And I have a full chili chopped up. If you don't like it too spicy, again, you can just reduce that down yourself. I've also used a good quality vegetable stock cube just for convenience. The better quality ones are very, very good and very, very convenient for this type of a dish. And just a little bit of salt, oil and pepper, just to give a quick fry. So again, no real rules with this, whatever veg is available, and just pack this one up with beans, veg, everything else. And it's a great little dish. So as with any soup, the first thing you want to do is develop your flavors. I'm going to use about a teaspoonful of coconut oil or olive oil. I like the old coconut oil for frying and sweating things. I think it's a very neutral oil. It's a very heat stable oil, and the only saturated oil that is anti-inflammatory, which is a very, very important thing. First, I'm going to add in the pan. So again, I used about a teaspoon of coconut oil there. I'm going to add my onions. And just sweat those down a little bit, just to get a little bit of flavour in there. At this stage also, I'm going to add my garlic and my chili. I'm going to put a pinch of salt. And just let those little flavours develop a little bit first. I don't want to really get any colour in this, but I'm just allowing those lovely flavours to just infuse a little bit. Next up, I'm going to add all of my vegetables. So my main group, so the celery, the butternut squash, the courgette and the peppers. And I'm going to add all of those in together. I'm going to sweat those around for a few minutes. And I'm just going to add a small drop of water. And I'm going to cover up the pan and allow those steam for a few minutes. So over kind of a medium heat, keeping an eye on it, and I'm going to allow the veg to steam for about 10 minutes until they become nice and tender. So a good tight fitting lid on that. Reduce the heat a little bit, and do keep an eye on it as it's cooking and allow that steam away for a few minutes. So after about 10 minutes of sweating, the veg should be looking a little bit like this and just starting to tenderize nicely. And the flavour should be developing nicely. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add my beans, my tomato. I'm just going to mix those around, cover it up, and allow that again to sweat for about another 5 minutes. So you're looking just like that, looking very, very healthy, for want of a better word. Another thing you actually could do at this stage is pop in your stock cube. And that just helps with the old seasoning. It's all about freshness, keeping it simple, nothing complicated. So having the beans and tomatoes sweating, and again, everything is just cooking down lovely. I'm just going to add some black pepper into this now. And next I'm going to add my chopped tomatoes, my tin of chopped tomatoes. And I'm just going to let those mix through. And the next thing I'm going to do is add enough water to just about cover the vegetables. You can then bring this up to a good high heat and bring it up to a gentle simmer. And allowing all those flavors to infuse together. It was roughly about 750 ml of water I had used there. And that's our soup well underway now. And then again, I'm just going to cover it up for the sake of speed and let that come to a nice simmering boil. Now, having allowed the soup to simmer for about 5 minutes, you don't want to overcook it, you don't want your veg to become mushy. As you can see, everything is very, very good, held together nicely. I'm now going to just add my spinach. And I'm going to add my basil. All at the same time. I'm just going to let those wilt for a couple of seconds. And that is pretty much it. You can just adjust the seasoning if you feel necessary. But that is our very simple vegetable bean minestrone.